welcome to another episode of Malti-Kulturali. I hope you are doing well and thank you so much for joining. Today we're going to have a very interesting episode. We're going to talk about the hunting dog, which in Maltese we say Il-Kelb tal-Kaċċa. Before I dive into the topic, I would like to introduce our guest today. Nice to meet you and thank you so much for joining with us today.
Thank you for obviously inviting me over. It looks quite like an interesting episode, so looking forward to.
Before we start, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Il-Kelb. I'm the president for the Federation of Hunting and Conservation Malta, which also we've got several associations within our federation umbrella. One of them is the club tal-Kaċċa Malta, which we have launched back in 2012, and I administer also, and nowadays we've got also a dedicated chairman to work further on the specific breed.
So let's start with the big question. How has the Kelb tal-Kaċċa evolved over time, both in appearance and temperament?
Well, temperament for sure it remained very much constant. I mean, talking to breeders or trying to find references, although we lack a lot of references, and that's one of the challenges we've got to safeguard and obviously to promote the breed. The only references we've got are from the 18th century, and lately we've got two also students who are doing a PhD thesis on the breed. One is a genetic and the other is a historical approach. But when it comes to temperament, we've never heard that we had any subjects that were, let's say, aggressive. Okay. They are great companions, great family dogs. They go very well with children, can go out for a walk with them. So as for temperament, we don't have experienced any changes at all. But when it comes to the appearance, as a phenotype of the breed, a lot changed. In fact, this morning someone sent me a photo from Gozo. It was taken in Gozo about early 1900s. And you could see that the coat was much darker. The patches were much darker, which I remember some dogs across the island which had same appearance. But nowadays, unfortunately, we lost that kind of, let's say, color. Dark brown, dark tan, and we have a much lighter color on most of our dogs. And it's something which it's an involvement because, as you know, the islands are as they are. I mean, we're the smallest member state in the European Union, and any breed that has to do with being indigenous will face such challenges. And obviously, we have to breed from the breeding pool we've got, from the breeding sample we've got, and so unfortunately we have to be more careful on how such breeding should be done in the near future, just to retain at least the characteristics and appearance of the breed.
And what are the most notable traits or behaviors that differentiate the Kelb tal-Kaċċa from other medium-sized dogs?
Obviously its prime let's say, intent purpose is that they are hunting dogs. You cannot just take any dog out in the field, especially dogs which don't have any gun dog purpose, which are under the group of working dogs, which they've got the instinct to work and to hunt, and obviously the adaptation when it comes to the dog accompanying a hunter. Something that's been evolved for the past 15,000 years for sure. First human settlements, obviously they got the wild dog, the wolf, helping them to hunt, and so from that time dogs start to be evolved for specific purposes. Kelb tal-Kaċċa Malta obviously has been adapted to our terrain, which is a very rough terrain, and the medium-sized dog, as it is as a size, is perfect for the kind of game that we find on our islands. We don't have any wild boar, don't have any deer, so literally we're the only game that these dogs to hunt is small, so it's perfect for their body. And yes, I mean, their main purpose remains being hunting. In fact, sometimes I be discussing this with families who have got tal-Kaċċa ta' Malta at home, which they are not hunters, but they say when they take them out, when they see maybe a bird or a pigeon, they start, you know, getting excited because obviously it's part of their instinct.
Before we continue, I would like to go to a short feature that we have planned for you. Let's take a look.
In the heart of the Mediterranean, Malta's diverse environment has shaped a unique companion, the Kelb tal-Kaċċa. This ancient breed, known for its loyalty and its intelligence, has a rich history intertwined with Maltese culture. The Kelb tal-Kaċċa, or the Maltese hunting dog, was traditionally bred to work alongside hunters in the island's unique terrain. The first mention of the Maltese hunting dog is in 1773 by Grandmaster Jimenez. He allowed the Kelb tal-Kaċċa to be used for the Knights of St. John's favourite sports activity, hunting. Adapting to their surroundings, these dogs have developed strong instincts for tracking and agility. One of their most remarkable features is their uniquely adapted feet. These foot structures are perfect for navigating Malta's rugged landscape, allowing them to maintain stability and speed. Another charming trait of the Kelb tal-Kaċċa is their pinkish noses, which adds to their expressive faces. This distinctive feature symbolises their friendly and approachable nature, making them beloved companions. With their affectionate nature, they have become cherished family companions. Through their loyalty and adaptability, the Kelb tal-Kaċċa not only survives, but thrives among the challenges of their island home.
Back to the studio. Now, I would like to ask a bit about the well-being of the Kelb tal-Kaċċa. What are some key considerations to ensure that its well-being, both physically and emotionally?
As any other dog, physically, I mean, as they are working dogs, they need some good exercise daily. In fact, that is one challenge that we are facing with several breeds, that they are trying to, let's say, retain them at home, and this is it's also a good moment which we need to address. That such well-being needs to be taken care of. I mean, it's not just giving food and or caring for the dogs, but they need their exercise. Emotionally, you cannot just keep a dog just like in a room or in a garden without having direct connections with any dogs. And hunting dogs are very much more looking for their owner, because they've been bred, they've been evolved, that they need to work with someone else. So literally the social aspect of having a working dog. I've got 3 dogs myself, and every time I'll take them out daily. Every time I'll be hunting, literally, I wouldn't imagine being out there, like in rural areas, in the fields, without having them with me, because sometimes, okay, I start shouting, like, where are you? And one of them, maybe it's swimming in, in one of the local agricultural reservoirs, for example, or running after another dog. Well, but it's part of the experience, and literally, I want the best possible welfare and caring for them, and for sure should be done across the board, not just for working dogs, but any other dogs.
And how has the modern breeding practices affected the health and genetic diversity of the dog?
The genetic diversity aspect is very challenging. As I said earlier, we think we've got around maybe 2,000 dogs on Malta and Gozo. So to retain a good selectivity when it comes to breeding, when it comes to the appearance, also to eliminate any genetic faults, especially on their legs, or their back, which is a problem which we are facing.
They struggle with these issues?
Yes, unfortunately, it's all because of inbreeding. And it's a big problem, but it's not impossible because we've got other breeds in other countries, specialty breeds or rare breeds, as they are calling them today. And what's being done is genetic tests are being done across the board, and few studs are selected, and to assure that they've got a health, like genetic, a very strong genetic. So obviously when it comes to breeding, there would be a continuation of good selectivity when it comes to size, for example, maybe also problems when it comes to their teeth. Within breeding, it's a common problem that you'll find failures. And if you'll breed irresponsibly, you'll end up having such faults occurring in your litters or future generations. And it is something which us have been working quite a lot. It's, in fact, this year it is 26th year. The FKNK is coordinating the Imnaria Dog Show in 28th of June, where we do the only dedicated show for the Kelb tal-Kaċċa Malta and the Kelb tal-Fennek.
Okay.
And there we always share the importance of selectivity when it comes to breeding. We get also professional judges. So any faults would be also like noted. So when it comes to breeding, their owners need to be very careful just to safeguard the breed. I mean, if we won't be careful today, tomorrow we'll end up losing the breed as it is. But also we've done tests in Florence, in University of Florence, when it comes to genetic pooling, which determined that the Kelb tal-Kaċċa Malta is truly an indigenous breed and does not cannot be considered as a crossbreed, for example. So that was one of the first breakthroughs we've done, and that's why we were continuing our work scientifically to assure that the breed would retain its cultural and identical value.
And what were some of the traditional tasks or roles that the Maltese Kelb tal-Kaċċa fulfilled in the Maltese rural life, maybe in short?
Well, of course, has been a hunting companion, but we've seen a lot of photos also lately. A lot of farmers, a lot of herdsmen, also with their sheep or goats. They had the Kelb tal-Kaċċa Malta accompanying them throughout their days, like taking their goats or sheep herding. And it's quite interesting because the breed was not evolved like for example, border collies, which are dogs intended to herd sheep or goat. But there you can see that the relation between human and dog was very strong on our islands, and unfortunately today we don't see it much because obviously the rural aspect changed a lot. But I think although it had the most prioritized value as a being hunting dog, there was also the social companionship aspect, which was also quite valuable at that time and is still today.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for joining us.
Thank you
and thank you
time.
for watching another episode of Malti-Kulturali. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.